Chapter 1 Natural Disaster Comes. It had been raining lightly for 2 days, and the whole city of Seoul was shrouded in gloomy clouds, making it a little dull. Yenxia TV station. There will be large-scale rainfall throughout the southeast region in the next week. People are asked to pay attention to safety and minimize travel. The northern region will usher in another cooling. Lin Foam looked at the light rain outside the window and was a little upset. Natural disaster? Man-made disaster? Or an alien civilization? Every time he thought that the whole world would enter the apocalypse in one day, he could not help but tremble, and the fear in his heart was uncontrollable. Yes, he was reborn. He was obviously swallowed by a three-headed mutant dog, but when he opened his eyes, he was back before the disaster. Now that God has given him another chance, all he can do is to become stronger in the disaster. Only by constantly getting stronger can he be qualified to survive. As for informing others, Lin Feng didn't do that. Who would believe that the world would end in one day? But he still dialed the number of his best brother, Wulong. Hey, I'm Lin Feng. What are you doing? I'm in the canyon. If you have anything to say, please tell me. If you still treat me as a brother, just use all your money to buy food and save it. Maybe you can still survive. Are you crazy? I only have 300 yuan in total now. I want to borrow money, but I don't have it. Lin Feng. 200 at most. Leave 100 for me to eat steamed buns. Lin Feng was stunned, then smiled. He seemed to suddenly understand that this time he was reborn. He had to do more than just survive. Look at the news tonight. There will be an earthquake in the southwest and a tsunami on the west coast of the United States. After saying that, Lin Feng hung up the phone. Behind him, there were piles of various supplies. Now he couldn't even spare $1, so he spent all of it on supplies. Language is sometimes pale, and only facts can prove everything. Opposite him, Wulong frowned, feeling that something was not right. 2100 hours on July 3rd, 2024. Yenxia TV station. Today at 2050, a 9.7 magnitude earthquake occurred in southwest my country, and the transportation network in 3 provinces was paralyzed. At 2054, a huge tsunami occurred on the east coast of the United States. Power was paralyzed in 7 continents, and the death toll was unknown. Listening to the report on TV, Lin Feng's heart trembled slightly. Even if it was the second time he heard it, he still felt frightened. The natural disaster before the disaster had begun. Duduru. At this time, Wulong called. Lin Feng, you're so awesome. Do you know the inside story? I will buy food right now and borrow money to buy it. No, don't go anywhere. Come directly to my house tomorrow, and I'll tell you in detail later. Good. Wulong hung up the phone. The shock in his heart was too much to contain. Is it really the end of the world? No matter what, let's talk about it after meeting Lin Feng. Lin Feng was a little lost after hanging up. Does what he did change the trajectory of history? Will there be an accident? July 3rd at 2300 hours. Yenxia TV reported that a glacier rift appeared in the Arctic and a large number of creatures were suspected to be infested. At 3 o'clock on July 4th, Mount Fuji in Sakura country erupted, accompanied by a strong earthquake. It is said that some people saw monsters flying out of the magma. It was a sleepless night. People all over the world were frightened. Various disasters continued. Many people thought it was the end of the world and began to hoard supplies in large quantities. Both supermarkets and canteens were sold out. Lin Feng also stayed up all night. He was silently paying attention to the changes in the world, trying to see if there were any differences from his previous life. But unfortunately, the disasters all over the world are still the same as usual, with no changes. At 12 o'clock today, I'm afraid the blood rain will still appear. The catastrophe is about to begin. If he wants to survive the disaster, he must get the chance to awaken. In his last life, he awakened by chance and gained power. Otherwise, he might die in the first wave of the disaster. Boom. Lin Feng, I'm here. Wu Long shouted anxiously. The moment Lin Feng opened the door, Wu Long saw the mountains of food and water. He was so shocked that his mouth almost dropped to the ground. You have emptied the supermarket. After that, he really panicked. The whole world is going crazy now, you know? The pyramid collapsed and turned into a huge pit. Mount Fuji erupted, and unknown creatures flew out. Wu Long said solemnly, who would believe that the end will really come one day. Lin Feng, tell me honestly, is the end of the world? Lin Feng nodded, walked into the room, took out a dagger and stuffed it into Wu Long's hand. Don't be scared. The real show starts after 12 o'clock. This world will no longer belong to us. If we want to survive, we can only rely on ourselves. Wu Long subconsciously took the dagger and was a little dazed. He had already called his parents to stock up on supplies and not to go out no matter what happened. Hope it's okay. I trust you. Lin Feng grinned, but in his heart he was calculating how many zombies he would need to kill before the two of them could awaken. Time flashed forward, and it was 10:30 in the morning. It was still an hour and a half before the bloody rain broke out. This time, they were fully prepared. There was enough food in the room for the two of them to live for half a year. You know, this is all his property. Fortunately, he bought it early, otherwise if he went now, he wouldn't be able to buy 1,000th of it with his little money. I heard that some places have already started fighting over a little food. Lin Feng, shall we not go out from now on? Stay at your house all the time. Wu Long was still a little scared at the moment. People would die at the end of the world. He now felt that Lin Feng's house was safe. No. Get the equipment, and let's go out. Lin Feng inserted the dagger into his lower back and stuffed a steel plate into his chest and back. It's so dangerous. Why are you going out? Wu Long was stunned, his face a little ugly. In the end of the world, there is no way to escape the natural disasters by hiding. Only by constantly getting stronger can we survive. Lin Feng said solemnly. Don't you like playing games? I'll take you to fight monsters in real life. July 4th at 11:30. There was still half an hour before the blood rain fell. In the park of the community where Lin Feng lived, there was a cement pipe more than 1 meter wide and nearly 10 meters wide. It was unknown when the construction materials were left behind, and they had been left here. This is the place where Lin Feng awakened in his last life. He tried his best to kill a mutated wild dog, but luckily swallowed its blood core and awakened to gain strength. Otherwise, he would have died in the disaster long ago, and there would be no subsequent events. Are you afraid? Lin Feng looked at Wu Long. He forced Wu Long to change his life, not knowing what would happen. Don't be afraid. Whatever you say is what you say. I will listen to you. Wu Long said with a forced smile. Lin Feng was stunned for a moment, then smiled. I will not let you die again in this life. At 12 o'clock on July 4th, Seoul. No, the entire earth was completely covered by a layer of blood clouds, and the rain quietly turned red. Lin Feng looked at the red world outside with a solemn face. Catastrophe has begun. Chapter 2 Accident. When the blood rain comes, all creatures contaminated by the blood rain will mutate. Direct contact with the rain of blood will usually turn you into a zombie within 10 minutes. Even if there is no direct contact, the germs in the zombies will enter the air, and within a week, there will be a second outbreak. Only awakening is the root of the problem. In the previous life, those who failed to awaken all died. The blood rain only lasted for 5 minutes and then stopped. On the surface, there was no substantial damage, and it would only be mistaken for an ordinary accident. But if you dared to step out at this time, it was actually not much different from being soaked in the rain. Lin Feng guessed that the blood rain was a high concentration of germs. Lin Feng, the rain has stopped outside. Do you want to go out? Wu Long asked. Get out? If you go out now, you are seeking death. Blood will rain down, and everything will die. This is no joke. Lin Feng said with a solemn expression. He was waiting for the stray dog from the previous life to arrive, taking advantage of the fact that the people outside had not yet completely turned into zombies, so they could gain some abilities first. Ouch. A low roar of pain was heard, and Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Be prepared, there will be a weak chicken and wild dog coming later. Before Lin Feng could finish his words, he was shocked by the scene in front of him. A two-headed vicious dog was staring at him, with two heads, one big and one small. It looked like a teddy bear and a golden retriever. The neck was bloody and fleshy, and its body was much larger than a normal golden retriever. Lin Feng, is this the wild dog you are talking about? Why do we feel more like weaklings? I think we may not be his match. Wu Long swallowed. What is this? Lin Feng felt extremely solemn. How could this be possible? The blood rain has just arrived, so they shouldn't be devouring each other. Doesn't this only happen after the second mutation? Sure enough, he changed history, and history also changed. Now, it's become more dangerous than in the past. Go ahead, kill him with one head per head. Lin Feng was furious in his heart. Secondly mutated zombies might have better awakening effects. Lin Feng went straight towards the zombie dog. Wu Long suppressed the fear in his heart, took out a baseball bat from behind, and hit the head growing out of the zombie dog's neck. Seeing the two men coming to kill him, the zombie dog hesitated. After becoming a zombie, even if it has two heads, its intelligence is almost zero. Out of instinct, the big-headed golden retriever opened his big mouth covered in black blood and bit at Lin Feng. At this moment, Lin Feng suddenly had a brick in his hand and stuffed it into the golden retriever's mouth. Crack. Under the full force of the golden retriever's bite, the bricks exploded instantly, but Lin Feng was not distracted. In the apocalypse, those who awakened were also called demon hunters. Although he was not the strongest group, there were hundreds of zombies who died in his hands. Being calm in the face of danger was only the most basic standard. Stab. There was a muffled sound, and the dagger pierced under Jean Mao's mouth, instantly piercing into his brain. It stirred up the whole brain and smashed it into pieces. At this point, the golden retriever's head was unable to pull down. However, the zombie dog's body did not fall down. A claw suddenly shot out and hit Lin Feng on the chest. The powerful force directly knocked Lin Feng away. Second head. Bump. The baseball bat hit, and Teddy's head exploded like a watermelon. Wu Long, who was 1.8 meters tall and covered in sinews, blew it up directly. His head was gone, and the corpse of the zombie dog finally fell softly. Lin Feng. Ahem, it's okay. Lin Feng covered his chest and coughed violently, and the clothes on his chest were torn to pieces. He was careless just now, thinking that it would be safe if he shattered the other person's brain. Unexpectedly, the humble Teddy head can also control the body. Wu Long helped Lin Feng up and felt relieved when he saw the thick steel plate hidden under his clothes. Fuck, how can you play with one of them? Wu Long was a little scared. Although he had completed the last hit, if Lin Feng hadn't killed the golden-haired head just now, he might not have been a match for the two-headed dog. There is no end to the road. Although these things are scary, there are also good things. Lin Feng smiled and walked to the side of the two-headed zombie dog. This thing was no longer at the level of the corpse, but almost reached the level of the wandering corpse. The blood rain had just fallen. How could there be such a thing? It seems that it is somewhat special. If you give it enough time, it is not impossible to become a lord. With a stroke of the dagger, the zombie dog's body was thrown away. After touching for a long time, Lin Feng found a red crystal the size of a fist. What is this? Wu Long came over and asked curiously. Blood crystal, a good thing, but I can't give you this piece. We will hunt zombies later. Lin Feng said with a smile, this blood crystal is much larger than the one he had in his previous life. And he didn't choose to give it to Wu Long. He was afraid that if he changed too much, the consequences would be more serious. How do you know this? Wu Long felt that Lin Feng knew too much, as if he knew everything. It was like experiencing it personally. I said I came from the future. Do you believe it? Lin Feng chuckled. The fist-sized blood crystal in his hand had been crushed by him, and a red warm current flowed down Lin Feng's arm and into his body. Wu Long looked at it, and the shock in his heart was stronger than when he heard about the end of the world. Did it come from the future? After calming down for a while, Wu Long finally calmed down. So, what happens in the future? They are not my brothers. By the way, how will he be in the future? At this time, a red waning moon-shaped mark appeared between Su Ming's eyebrows, indicating that Lin Feng was now a waning moon-level demon hunter. The demon hunting system is being bound. Binding successful. With a thought in his mind, a picture like a screen appeared in front of Lin Feng. Host, Lin Feng. Level 0. Strength 3. Speed 3. Defense 2. Skill, Almighty Eye. Occupation, the level is low and cannot be opened. Seeing this familiar scene, Lin Feng finally felt relieved. If another accident happened, he would really cry. Wrong. Why does the Almighty Eye appear here? Isn't this a second-level skill? Lin Feng's mind moved, and the Almighty Eyes opened. There was a trace of blue light in his eyes. Lin Feng turned to look at Wu Long. Race human. Strength 5. Speed 2. Defense 3. It's okay, much stronger than ordinary people and about the same as some ordinary carrion level zombies. But if it's stronger, it may not be a match. Ding ding ding. At this moment, Wu Long's cell phone rang. In the early days of the end of the world, these devices can still be used, but as the electricity disappears, all electronic devices will lose their function and become a pile of waste. It's not as powerful as the knife and axe in your hand. Listening to the conversation on the other end of the phone, Wu Long's expression suddenly changed. Ah, a woman screamed, and then the phone was hung up. Lin Feng, something happened to Xiao Qingwei. Wu Long said anxiously. Lin Feng looked at Wu Long with a strange expression. He knew that Su Xiaoqing was a classmate, but Wu Long was not in the same class as him. How did Wu Long get involved with the other party? Chapter 3 Rescue. That I met at a party. We haven't confirmed our relationship yet. Oh, don't worry about this. Let's go rescue him. Wu Long's face looked a little unnatural, but more anxious, and he rushed out with a baseball bat. Lin Feng had no choice but to follow. Don't worry, Zhongqing University is not in great danger at first. It should be some stray cats and dogs. If you want to save her, you must wake up first. Lin Feng caught up with Wu Long now. Although Wu Long was anxious, he also understood the terror of these zombies. If it weren't for Lin Feng, the two-headed dog just now, he really wouldn't be able to deal with it. Good. The sky rarely cleared up after the blood rain, but this was not a good thing. There were red pools gathering in many places on the ground. In Lin Feng's opinion, they were extremely poisonous. Once contaminated, it will quickly turn into a zombie. 10 minutes later, the two of them found a zombie at the entrance of the supermarket. It was wearing a suit and its whole body was a sickly gray-white color. A disgusting white liquid was flowing out of its 7 orifices. It was standing quietly on the road. No one was around. It must be the person who was grabbing something in the supermarket just now. The blood rain fell and was stained, and he turned into a zombie. Lin Feng, are you sure he's dead? Wu Long's hand holding the baseball bat was shaking a little. It's okay to kill a dog, but this time it's a human. At this moment, the zombie's nose twitched and its neck turned towards Lin Feng in a very strange posture. Wow! The next second, he rushed straight towards the two of them very fast. Fuck it! Either he dies or we become zombies. Lin Feng shouted angrily, opening his omnipotent eyes, and the situation of zombies in suits instantly appeared in his mind. Race. Human white. Strength 6. Speed 4. Defense 3. Weakness, brain. You go up to attract firepower and I'll sneak attack from the side. Lin Feng shouted, and then passed by from the side. Wulong looked bitter. Did he attract firepower? This is much more exciting than playing games, but there is no way to revive the horse rider. But now he didn't give up and rushed forward with a baseball bat. Bump! A stick hit the arm of the zombie in suit, and there was a muffled sound immediately. The zombie in suit took 3 steps back, and then there was no more. The zombie in suit seemed to be unaware and rushed directly towards Wulong. Wulong was shocked. He hit the stick with all his strength, but there was no reaction at all. He could only use his baseball uniform to block him in front of him. The powerful force instantly suppressed him and kept him retreating. I can't bear it. At this moment, Lin Feng kicked the zombie in the suit at the back knee, causing the zombie to kneel on the ground. The next second, a dagger pierced directly into his brain, where the skull was the thinnest, guaranteeing a one-hit kill. As soon as the dagger was stirred, the zombies in suits stopped moving. Kill a carrion-level zombie and gain 1 skill point. Grow your strength. Add 1 to your strength, and your current strength is 4. As the sound sounded, the number representing power in Lin Feng's mind changed to 4, and a sense of power suddenly filled his whole body. Even if it was his second experience, Lin Feng still felt amazing. Even in his previous life, he had not figured out where the power of the demon hunter came from. He took out a dagger and swiped it in front of the chest of a zombie in a suit. A thumb-sized blood crystal was found. Lin Feng couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Not every zombie could find the blood crystal. He could find 2 in a row. It can only be said that he was really lucky today. Can I wake up too? Wulong was a little excited, but Lin Feng said that if he didn't wake up, he would turn into a zombie if he stayed outside for a long time. Crush it and let the power flow throughout your body.